Whitehaven Coal could just be black gold for billionaire Nathan Tinkler, but its shares continued to slide today despite the takeover bid from its biggest investor, Tinkler Group. The bid values the 78% of Whitehaven it doesn't own at $5.3 billion. The big question, though, can the already heavily indebted Tinkler Group raise the cash to get the deal over the line? Andrew Robertson reports.
Whitehaven is one of Australia's last remaining independent coal companies. Tinkler Group, which is controlled by reclusive billionaire Nathan Tinkler, already owns 22% and, according to Morningstar resources analyst Gareth James, taking the company private is a bet on the future.
It probably won't be producing free cash flow for a couple of years yet, but when it does start producing cash flow, they will be extremely large.
Whitehaven Coal's mining operations are in the Gunnedah Basin region of New South Wales. It produced 4.2 million tonnes of saleable coal last year and is forecasting that will rise to 18 million tonnes by 2015. Central to that forecast is the Maules Creek open cut mine, which the company acquired when it bought Aston Resources and Boardwalk Resources from Tinkler Group for $2.3 billion just 8 months ago.
Maules Creek is very much the jewel in the crown of Whitehaven, particularly when you consider the ramp-up that the company is expected by 2016, where 10.5 million metric tonnes will eventually be extracted out of the ground.
Which is why Elio D'Amato had a valuation on Whitehaven higher than the $5.20 a share being offered by Tinkler Group.
Sentiment has driven a lot of coal prices, coal stocks down. In recent times on the back of a decline in coal prices. It's very much an opportunistic bid to try to pick up some good quality assets at a relatively cheap price.
Other issues around the deal include Whitehaven shareholders who roll their stock into the bid vehicle established by Tinkler Group will be acquiring assets they already own, but with much more debt. And the biggest issue, will the banks who've indicated they'll provide the takeover money actually deliver? Notwithstanding that, Morningstar's Gareth James is reasonably confident the takeover will go ahead.
It's a 50% premium to the previous closing price before the bid was announced. Secondly, the Tinkler Group has the support of 48% of Whitehaven shareholders. And thirdly, the Tinkler Group also seem to have debt funding pretty much in place.
Tinkler Group and its banks have 4 weeks to conduct due diligence on Whitehaven, after which they'll decide whether to firm up the offer. Whitehaven's falling share price suggests the market believes the takeover won't go ahead, or if it does, at a price lower than $5.20. But there are those who think Tinkler Group eventually may have to raise its offer to get it across the line.
Now there might be others that will be very much rubbing their hands and saying, well, if we want this quality asset, if we want to have that extended mine life, then maybe we have to get off the fence and possibly put in a bid.
The waiting game has begun.